Leo's Legion, week 17 is in the books and the season is coming to a close. This game had all the makings of the stereotypical trap game. We got the Lions needing to win to stay pace, to keep pace with those bombers from Winterpeg. We had Jake Dolagala coming in here who beat us the last time he played. We've got a decent running back coming in, Frankie Hickson. And you know what? I was hopeful. I hope you guys were hopeful. We shut down Trey Ford and Kevin Brown. Could we do it again with Jake and Frankie? Trap game, Saskatchewan, in town. VA went off, but I'm not too happy with it. Let's toss it around with the bros now. Ladies, gentlemen, Leo's Legionnaires, I've been all over the internet looking at the Lions forums here, there, and everywhere. We had a win. Score said it was a little closer than it actually was if you were at that game, but I wasn't happy with 406 yards again to a third-string quarterback. 400 and plus yards again to our VA. Big play, lead the way, win the day VA. But man, I got some nitpicks with the way he threw that ball around. I'll bring it up later. Some high-level thoughts. Over to you, Arthur.
Well, I mean, they needed a win, and it was, like you said, a trap game, but they came out ready to play. I think their defense played very well for 55 minutes, and they played really well. Some takeaways when they needed it to. Their offense stepped up. Special teams were decent again. So, ball marks for the Lions for a big win. Roland?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it was a great game. The things that I didn't like, we started out okay, like we were moving, but we couldn't convert majors. So we were getting field goals in Q1. So we talked about needing to start strong. So they kind of did start strong. Defense definitely started strong. We were holding their offense drives. Our offense was marching down, but when we got to the red zone, we couldn't convert. So that was a little bit of a concern. Our running game, I think to me is still a bit of a concern. But we managed to get a good Q3, which I was complaining about. Our Q3s were very bad the last few games. So this was our best Q3 for the longest time. And then Q4 we kind of coasted. So I think we probably could have done more in Q4. But we had enough of a lead to hold on to the victory. So mixed feelings, happy that we won, but would like to see improvement in quite a few areas.
Well, yeah, you said it, Roland. I was thinking, the areas we actually needed them to improve in, hope they would improve in, they did. Out of the gate with some energy, a consistent third quarter, but then the areas that we had no concerns with kind of took a little step back. Hey, you know what? Let's look at the positives too. We had two receivers go over the 1,000-yard mark in Hollins and Hatcher. Awesome.
Yes.
We had our VA hit the 4,000-yard mark.
Yes.
Awesome. 450 something yards in this game.
Wonderful, yeah.
Great. But you know what? I'm a little cheesed at VA. There's 5 receivers out there. You've got the Ferrari was out of the garage. Yeah, I know you got to get Rhymes into the game right away. But I thought some of those were forced to Rhymes, or VA's accuracy was off. Again, why does he have tunnel vision for Hollins and Hatcher? You guys have said it, we toss it around. We don't know what the check down or the progressions are in the play that's called. But my Lord, that one pass, the one that was ruled incomplete, initially an interception, 5 yards behind that, was our lucky number 7, wide open. He could have had lunch, dinner, and a midnight snack before that ball got there, anyone got near him, and that was a touchdown. What does VA do? Force it to number 4. We settle for a field goal. And I was bemoaning the whole first quarter. Field goal, field goal, field goal. The guy behind me was in green head to toe, and I had to hear, "Oh, we're still in it. We're still in it." And I'm thinking in my head, "Yeah, they are. They are. Trap game. We're letting these guys hang around. If they get their footing and Dolagala goes off like he did in the Prairie game, I'm not liking it." But thank gosh the defense kind of hung strong, forced a lot of tune-outs. I don't know what the stats are for rushing. We'll look at that. But yeah, I'm a little concerned with VA's tunnel vision. He said in the post game, got to work on my accuracy all week, which he did. But I'm still seeing some of that forcing it to 4-13 a little more than I would like to see.
4-19. 4-19.
Well, 19, yeah, because he's back. He's back.
Yeah, 4-19. I mean, that's what like Roland and I were watching the game together, and I was like looking at the stats as we were playing. I said, well, like 2/3 of the passes were going to Hatcher and Rhymes, and definitely he's trying to get Rhymes into the game. Like those, I think the first two passes in the end zone when they were down in that end of the field, it went to Rhymes. And I think a little rust with Rhymes. I mean, hey, he's such a big target.
Yep.
And then he 50-50 balls. Vernon has so much confidence in Rhymes to get it because he has a size advantage. And it's interesting that they were like whether they're forcing the ball or tunnel vision. I mean, we don't know what the play call was for McKismick. Right, maybe Hatcher or Rhymes were the first or second option on most of these plays, but guess who burns the Riders in the third quarter? It was Hollins.
Yeah.
Who maybe they're like, okay, this is part of the game plan, Greg. This is part of like we're gonna force it to Hatcher and Rhymes. We're gonna make you guys double them. And then all of a sudden, like Lucky and Hollins are going to make wide open. Like that one by Hollins, he was wide open by 15, 20 yards, right? And even and like that one, the first touchdown, the second one, you just did like some kind of a dig route. Again, wide open.
A gentle pick from the post, according to the green fella in the booth, Glenn Suter. But, I just, just sitting in the stands, you want taking the analytics out of there, just sitting there as a fan watching that game, and I was talking to some orange people in front of me. Thank gosh we outnumbered the green in that section. But holy cow, it's just like, do you not see the other receivers, or are you running out of time? You don't know, but all you know is as a fan, you see it's like, why is he throwing to Hatcher? Yes, Hatcher comes down with it, but there's like tighter coverage there, and there's some receivers that are like just as much yardage to be gained. They're a little further open. I don't want to be sounding like I'm, pumping the tires of Lucky Whitehead, which I probably am. But my gosh, the guy, every time the ball goes to Lucky, it seems like it's behind him. It's low. He's got the tougher catch. But I mean, what was that? 2nd and 24, and he got 25 yards. We needed that one. That was his only target, I think. Oh no, that was his. Well, no, he had a running play, I think. That was the only target that I remember from that
Lucky
game.
was 3 for 3.
Yeah, 3 for 3. Lucky.
He had 3
for
targets.
39. And 3 for 3 for 39 yards. He had a run as well. But I mean, again, these guys, Hatcher and Rhymes are probably your slot backs. Most of these, they're mixed around. I mean, it's hard to comment in totality. Like I think a lot of them are. A lot of the times, those guys are your slot backs, and those are closest to the quarterback.
Oh yeah,
right?
I mean, it's a CFL is a slot back league. I get it, but it's just sometimes they just from where I'm sitting, it just looks like, you know what? I'm throwing it to 4 no matter what, and it just sometimes. I just hope against a stronger defense, it doesn't come back and bite us. Nick Marshall had an uncharacteristically poor game, I thought. Miscommunication with Moncrief on that big bomb to Hollins on his touchdown. But, I mean, there was that mismatch. I think every time Hatcher was with Moncrief, I think that's what VA was looking for, which was a good thing. But
Greg, if Hatcher goes 10 receptions for 13 targets for 172 yards.
Yeah, can't argue it. Can't argue.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I know
I'm just saying, from sitting in the stands, it just looks like sometimes it's just I'm going to 4 no matter what, and I'm just worried that it's going to come back and bite him. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, he had a monster game, 172 yards. Rhymes.
So that was his best game. Now he beat the Calgary yardage, right? Calgary was his best game today at 170, and this was 172.
I mean, probably.
Wow.
I don't know offhand.
I don't remember.
I don't honestly. I don't care about what he like the highest yardage per game. I mean, I just worry about wins and productivity. But yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, they shut him down. Like they didn't throw a pass to him in like the second half of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They could have really
That's right.
just fed him 5, 6, 10-yard passes just to get to 200, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Rhymes was 92 yards coming back from injury, 509. Hollins was at 83 yards, although one of those was a 71-yarder.
A beautiful 71-yarder. That was pretty.
Yeah. Couture only had 2 catches, both in the first drive, and then that was it. He wasn't targeted anymore. So he was at 100%, 2 for 2. Lucky was also 3 for 3. High-level stats. You already talked about this. 458 yards passing for BC. Saskatchewan was at 409. I don't recall how much of that was in the fourth quarter, though.
I think the last 3 drives they had, the 1 interception that TJ had in the end zone, and then their 2 touchdowns, they pretty much 2 were driving the field. 1 was the onside kick recovery.
Yes, that's
so.
right.
I mean, that's probably a big 200+ yards of offense.
Yeah, they said he was 216 going into the late fourth quarter. He was at 216.
Okay.
So I mean, score effects. You're up 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. So then I think that's okay. Rushing, we were at 64 yards. Saskatchewan 38. I mean, we had more yards in Saskatchewan, but I don't know if 64 is going to be enough to beat like Winnipeg or Toronto. So that's my fear. I think that's our weakest spot still is our running game.
I'm looking at 13 carries, Roland.
Yeah.
And that's including a Dom McDavis 2-yard, I guess a third or second down sneak.
Yes.
And 36 passing plays. So 36 passing plays, 13 running plays.
Yeah, I know. That's not very balanced.
Off the Western Final, one playoff game's in the Dome. Then passing I like because it's not too weather affected. But if even with the bevy of riches we have at receiver, if Vernon doesn't get time or if he's flustered, I don't care. You could have 7, 8, 9 Jerry Rice receivers out there, and if Vernon's getting thrown around, we need a running game to bail that out to keep the pass rush honest.
Yeah. I just flipped quickly to the Winnipeg-Toronto game. Winnipeg had 33 passing plays and 34 rushing plays. I mean, that's 50-50, right? So that's I'm very worried about our rushing. Because heading into the playoffs, I think that's going to be a key thing. We got 3 sacks. Saskatchewan got 4 sacks. Second down percentages, we were at 52%. Saskatchewan was also 52%. So, and then the big thing that I know got Arthur really upset. Penalties. We've got 7 for 63. Saskatchewan is 0 for 0. That is completely unrealistic.
I mean, they had that one holding call that we declined.
Yeah.
And I thought there were a lot more penalties on the field, especially if they're calling those kind of penalties on the Lions.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, if I could chime in, I was 4 rows up from the field with some new fans, and I don't know how many times Woody Barron was pulled down to the ground by this part of his jersey. I lost count how many times Matthew Betts was yanked down by the collar of his jersey. And I'm not talking around, I'm talking down to the ground. That takes the weight of the player to pull you down by here. If that's not holding, I don't know what is.
I mean, technically isn't it like pulling? I guess it's not holding if it's pulling, right? Right.
Well, if you are front...
I don't know.
You're front to the guy, you're supposed to be in the plane of the shoulder pads. If he is by you and you're shoulder to shoulder and you've got him here and you're pulling him across, down, that is holding. I don't know how many times we've been called for that. Guy gets by, say, and I'm only saying it because it's the first name that comes to my head, if he gets by Perkins and he puts his arm out because the guy is outside the plane and you grab the jersey, that's holding. You pull him down, that's blatant holding. But and I when they introduced the refs, I thought, oh, good, it's a better crew. wrong.
I don't know what they were looking at for this game, because it can't be so lopsided. That's just not, even statistically doesn't make sense. So they need to do something about that.
Poor Roland. I was going ballistic in the game. I was like, what? And then Roland goes, Art, they're not calling it. They're not calling it. They're not calling it.
So it got to the point where, you seriously were wondering, like, are they, incentivized not to call it, right? Because it doesn't make sense, right? It just doesn't make sense. So anyway,
well, I know. Some former Lions were sitting down a few rows in front of me, and yeah, they were rather animated with the lack of color coming out of the pockets when Saskatchewan was on offense. Like there was, like they say, there's holding on every play, but then here there was holding on every play.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we still won, which is good. Had we lost, then that would have been a big disaster.
This would be a longer show.
Anyway, let's jump into the plays. Okay, we'll start with Q1. I don't have all the Q1 plays, but I've got a few plays into the first drive. So this was.
Yeah, I don't need to see field goals.
Yeah. So this was a 46-yarder to Kotoy. He almost made it. That got pushed out there. So
should he have hurdled in hindsight?
He tried, right? But yeah. So here's another replay there. It's beautiful. I noticed the last few games that we go to Kotoy like in one of our first few drives, and then that's it. We hardly go to him. So the first drive is usually scripted out. Even before the game starts, they've scripted out the first drive, and so they get him involved there, and then after that, then he's usually just a check down, right?
Mm-hmm. I would think so.
Yeah.
Well,
So
maybe the other team figures out their pass rush, and they got to keep Kotoy in there as an extra blocker, maybe too.
yeah,
That's another a very good possibility.
yeah.
But my gosh, he's a punishing runner. He's like our version of Gronk. I mean, the guy hits, he gets the yak yards. I don't know. Maybe they got to game plan him in a little bit better.
Yeah.
Teach Mazel how to block better. Oh.
Well, this next one. So the play immediately after that, we go back to Kotoy, but it was a little bit of a weird play. So see,
That could have been disastrous.
it was, yeah. So it was going to Kotoy, but either Kotoy was out of position, or I don't know. Like,
Was Adams falling down there when he let go of that ball?
not yet.
Nope.
No.
No, he let go already. Okay.
I guess
I think
38.
he had to throw it that way to get it around the
Yeah,
defender, and
to get it
that's
around
not
the
where it
defender.
was supposed to go.
Yeah, because
Kotoy's hands weren't ready.
and yeah, because these two defenders over here. If the ball was thrown over somewhere,
Yeah, which is
further
somewhere I
out
think
here,
it should have
then
been. It was
Kotoy
supposed
could
to
have,
be.
yeah, could have run in. So anyway, I guess at least they attempted to give Kotoy the touchdown here. It didn't work. And then this next play was what you guys were talking about possibly forcing it to Rhymes, or maybe Rhymes is still cold, because this was Rhymes' first play after the injury, right? First live play. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, everybody looked pretty covered, but I mean, I don't call that a 50-50.
Yeah, the defender actually got his hand on the ball right here. So
Usually it's back left shoulder,
Yeah.
but he's kind of fading away and trying to go off his right shoulder. Usually when you see that pattern, it's
yeah, it
I'm
should
running.
be- should be here.
He's keeping the defender on the right and making sure the ball is going to land on his left.
Yeah.
And then go and get the ball. So he kind of shields the DB away.
Yeah.
But with the way he's doing it here, he's inviting the DB to make a play on the ball. So I just think that he's just a bit rusty with that.
Could that be also where the ball is, too? I mean, is that an accuracy on Adams' part? Because, I mean, he's already looking over that right shoulder, because that ball looks like it's coming that way.
Yeah.
But I mean,
think
if he's wide open, then he can he can take the pass like he's trying to do now, but he's closely covered. So he should have changed his trajectory to receive the ball in a different manner.
Oh, so you think
to block him off?
You think Katoy should have taken a less,
Actually, it's Rhymes. He should have stopped a little bit and then shielded and exploded into the ball, because what you see what happens, he's kind of fades away, and then the defender was able to get his mid on it.
Yeah.
Versus and then grab the ball in the air.
Yeah.
So I think it's his timing. He's rusty. He's just, the timing's not right. That's how I attribute it.
The defender does have his eyes to the ball right here, right? Mm-hmm. So he's tracking the ball at this point. So even if Rhymes kind of took a different path, the defender would still track the ball, right?
Well, this is where Rhymes kind of slows down and lets the rider DB kind of hit him, and then you stay with him, and then you kind of like body him off, block him off in basketball, and then you explode to the ball. That's how I would expect that receiver to handle.
Like McInnes did in the Ottawa game on his 2 TDs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this could be rusty on his part, like you guys were saying.
That's what I would think.
Yeah. So then, so we end up with a field goal, and then let's take a look at our first defensive series. So Saskatchewan gets the ball, and
stuff.
Yeah. So this is beautiful. There's Tuhema. Tuhema tracks him down in the back, and they lose 3 yards on this rush. So
I love the fact that Rigamba was taking a nice backup angle to that too. So
yeah, so that was beautiful. As we said earlier, defense came out strong. And then the next play I have queued up here. So it's a 2-and-out for Saskatchewan. They punt the ball, and then this happens.
Leg.
And I was thinking, how come Williams looks slow? Like, why couldn't he outrun this guy?
Have you seen the size of Terry Williams' helmet? I think it's catching all the wind and slowing him down. He's running so upright. He's a small guy as it is. He's asking people to hit him because he runs straight. Roland, we coach little kids football. What do we say? Low man wins, right? Run low. He's giving the whole upper body to be hit or grabbed or anything. I think his helmet's not aerodynamic enough.
I think the CFL is a wide field, Greg, and this is the. He's getting tired running one side to the other.
Yeah. Then go to the league with the little field. Go to the lesser field league. This is the big field. Play up here.
But the thing is, the littler league has bigger and faster guys, so he's
go down there. There's not any other returner that runs that big monstrous guy that number 30 for Saskatchewan. He runs more down than Williams, and he's taller and he's bigger.
Yeah, but this we were called for a hold here. In the stats, it didn't say who the hold was on, so the
ref called 84.
Yeah,
and the flag was thrown right in front of where I was sitting.
Because
it was basically after the snap of the ball.
He held the gunner. That's where the flag was.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't here. It was way back.
It was way back. Yeah. I don't know if you have a good replay of that.
Yeah, I don't have that.
But I was looking. First of all, I thought maybe they could have called 94 because those numbers are big enough. It could have been an 8. But the gunner ran right by him, so I'm trying to figure out where the hold was.
Yeah. Anyway, this
Phantom calls. Greg.
So this would have been a beautiful return, but it was wiped out. So fine. Then on our next drive, we end up punting. So we didn't march down on our second offensive drive, and then the ball gets back to Saskatchewan, and then let's take a look at these plays now.
Avalanche.
Yeah, so that was beautiful. That was a Helatic sack for 3 yards. And then next play after that, or I don't know if it's the next play, but soon after that, we have this.
Big blitz.
Yeah, so they got the ball out. But, oh, yeah, this one was...
Yep.
And then he runs all the way to the end zone. And he gets... TJ Lee gets a good hit on him, which I thought was good. So he didn't make it to the end zone. But everyone in the stadium saw that he was down, but the ref never blew the whistle. Right? He's down here, Sales touches his helmet, and not a single ref blows their whistle. So Schaefer Baker just keeps running.
Yeah.
So
And you can see Sales stand up, like plays over, and all of a sudden Schaefer Baker takes off.
yeah. I mean, the key point is that, if Sales didn't touch him, then yeah, he can still run. But the key point here is that he's touched right there while his knee was on the ground.
Yep.
And the command center had to call it in. So,
And if I'm not mistaken, there's a ref right down here somewhere at the bottom of the screen.
There was always going to be a ref right by the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the first down line. So it doesn't make sense. So this just goes, along the theme of what were the refs thinking, right? Like it doesn't make sense.
Sales should just drive his helmet into him.
No, then they'll call the penalty on us. It's like,
That would have been 8 penalties to 0 for Saskatchewan.
it really felt very stacked against us, right? Like the ref calls. So anyway, that's just a little bit of frustration there. Same
Can
drive.
I throw 1 point in there, guys?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
That was a 2nd and 13, and we still gave up a 2nd and decently long, and we gave it up. Any concern?
Well,
They did a blitz. They picked up the blitz. Got to give him credit. Look at that. How many guys are going in, Greg? What else? What else do you want?
yeah. And he did get the
I
ball
want to
out.
stop.
He did get the ball out very quickly.
He got the ball out quick.
Yeah, he did.
He picked up the blitz. Hey, when you blitz like that, and then that's a perfectly thrown ball, right, into a spot that Sales can't get, right?
Yeah. So it was a good executed. Good execution.
And that's a tough catch and tough throw, and under pressure, under a big blitz.
Still think we should have stopped it. As a
Well,
fan, 2nd and 13, you got to get him off the field.
True.
well, hey, it's not like they only rushed 3 and they're sitting back, right? I mean,
No.
at least they blitzed. And how many guys they send, Greg?
Yeah, that's a lot. Of
I
guys.
can't. It's too small on my screen. I can't.
It's like
eight, 7.
Eight.
1, 2, 3,
I think it's they send 8.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
What do you want, man?
Yeah, 8
they
guys.
send 8.
What do I want? A sack? A
Well,
punt?
I mean, they picked. Hey, you got to give credit where credit's due. They picked up the blitz.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, do not give up 2nd and long. You do that against Winnipeg next week, it's going to be a real long night.
Well, hey, I mean, it's
And
second.
yeah, okay,
it's-
Dolagal is also 6'28", and yeah, he can see over that pressure and get that ball directly down where no one else can get it. I'll give him that, but I still want, as a fan, get off the field.
Well, sure, you want to get off the field. I mean, hey, but like the Lions forced them. Hey, they rushed 8.
Yeah.
And it was 4 man on man.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, there's 8 and there's 4, right? It's 8 and 4. So, yeah, it was. You saw 4 man on man. I mean, it made a good play. You can't just because you blitz doesn't mean you have to get a stop. They made a good play. They made a good pass, and then the receiver made an awesome catch, a tough catch. Hats off. I mean, hats off to them for that.
Yeah. I mean, the when you blitz that many, it's either you get to the quarterback or they get the ball out, right?
Well, if the roles were reversed, 90% of the time, if we get blitzed with 8 on 2nd and 13, we're punting. So I'm just saying, hats on the other foot, shoes on the other head. I would like to have gotten off the field here.
Yeah, it was good. Like even our late guy was untouched, but by the time he got there, the ball was gone.
Oh, ball's gone. Yes.
So
I mean, I would like him to get off the field too, Greg. I'm just saying it's a good play on their end, right? You can't.
Oh, it is.
You can't diagnose a perfect defense against a 2nd and 13 in the CFL.
Teams seem to do that against our 2nd and longs a little bit more than we do.
Yeah, I mean, we still get some.
Yeah.
And then on this game, our second down conversions are the same as theirs.
Early on, I wasn't sure of that though. Early on, I was really worried.
Actually,
I think
early
I
on, we
texted
were
you.
killing them on
Exactly.
their second down conversions were terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, theirs, yeah, but I was worried about ours. Just like, even though we were doing a lot of the 2 and outs, I was just worried we weren't finishing. We weren't, you know what I mean?
Actually,
I think I sent that to you.
Our percentages were roughly about 40 to 50% all game on second down conversions. Saskatchewan's was absolutely terrible until the fourth quarter. So I think this is one of the couple that they got in the first 3 quarters, actually. But your point taken.
Okay. So yeah, let's move on. So next play I have still the same drive. It's a Helatic again. He gets into the backfield and gets a tackle for a 1-yard loss. So so our defense was pretty good. I think we started out pretty strong. So you can see Helatic here, he just makes a beeline straight into the hole there, and he gets to the running back even before he gets to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So
they'll have a big test coming up next game.
Yeah.
But against Saskatchewan, they handled the run very well.
Yeah. And then still the same drive. Here. So I show this not because it's, but it is one of the many places where I think there's all these missed holdings. Right?
Yeah. Right by Dolagala, Well, how about that one by Dolagala, right? The guy goes down.
Like,
that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
That was literally right in front of our seats. And I'm like, hey. But as soon as I saw this play too, I thought, Arthur is like 1,000% right. I mean, you got to see what Helatic's got. It's his first year as a starter, and he's just a certain style. I get it. But on this kind of play, you just wish he was that nasty linebacker that just blew that thing up and just lambasted the running back. That's what I was hoping for. And I heard Arthur's was like, don't you wish you had just in some of these plays? I mean, he's right in the hole, and he just stops him and just kind of nicely takes him down. I would like to have seen just a slobber knocker of a hit.
I think we're spoiled having Solomon Aluminium for too many years.
Yeah,
because he would have filled that hole and he would have just laid him out.
And same with Big Hill.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Although Big Hill doesn't.
Let's not talk about Big Hill. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh no, well, I'm just saying he was here. He was decent.
Yeah, great. Let's Let's not talk about Big Hill. The one that got away.
I know, got away. All right, so let's. So then they end up punting, and we get a single because so we give up a single, and then we go to this next play here. So this is our third offensive drive, and this is a 21-yarder to Hatcher. So
I was saying to Roland, I said, it seemed like we were getting really good yardage through the air on first down.
Yeah.
But for second down, it was a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. Huh?
First down, if they're passing on first down, they're getting good yardage and a better completion than on second down. Of course, the defense stiffens on the second down. They know you're going to have to pass. But I guess in first down, I mean, there's not much of a running attack for the Lions, but I guess they still kind of have to kind of respect it a little.
Yeah, maybe because
Well, based on how they ran last week.
yeah,
right?
last week, yeah, exactly. So they were studying last week, and but yeah, I would have liked to see more good runs. Same drive. This one is again to Hatcher. This one now is for 16 yards. So for this play, I remember telling Arthur, was Hatcher the check down here? because that's usually
There's
where.
Katoy, there's Lucky.
Well, he's the guy that's kind of in the middle of the field, and he's like 5-6 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. So could it
Looks
be?
like he is the check down.
Yeah. So Adams could have gone to any one of the other receivers, but he didn't think they were open enough, and he went to Hatcher. Is that what you think happened?
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
Yeah.
I think with Rhymes in play, and you have Hollins, another 1,000 yards receiver, then maybe Hatcher's your blood and guts check down. Dare I say Brian Burnham of last year, right? Brian Burnham would be kind of like your check down guy, like the guy that will make the tough catch. When you need it. So, and obviously Hatcher is very clutch, and he showed up last year. He replaced Burnham in that role when Burnham went down, and I think Hatcher did very well. So, yeah, maybe that's why he gets a lot of targets, because he is kind of like the go-to check down receiver.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So, and then here, same drive. This is the one that was mentioned earlier, the catch in the end zone. Oh no, sorry, not in the end zone.
Yeah. That
so-
one drove me nuts.
Yeah. So I've got a couple of replays here, so we can look at it more closely. So this one is a bit blurred here, so we can't really see. But
Yeah, I guess Lucky was open. 5 yards, 4 or 5 yards. Yeah.
If he throws it ahead of Lucky with some air under it, a lot better chance on that one than this being anything.
It's a lot. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the guy's like right behind him, right, and then obviously separation on Lucky.
Because that TSN camera angle was behind Hatcher, and I think that was, I don't know who the Saskatchewan defender was, but you could see the Saskatchewan defender get both hands on that ball as soon as it arrives.
yeah,
And Hatcher's arm was in there, but not his hand didn't roll on that ball until after they rolled out of bounds.
okay, let's see.
I don't know. Maybe Adams had thought he had more time or something, because he kind of threw it really relaxed.
Yeah, you see
Adams
here.
also said in his post game that he needed to be a little more accurate. There wasn't. I mean, that's
This
a very, very small window there.
this looks to me like a simultaneous catch.
Yeah.
You know,
No, because Hatcher's other arm isn't in there.
it is.
Well, he has got one arm. I mean,
Yeah. So
receivers catch with one arm
Hatcher's
these days.
left hand is there,
yeah.
and then his right hand is over here, and the ball is kind of in between both of their arms, right?
But like I said, that camera angle from the end zone out shows the defender closing on that ball before Hatcher's hand gets on that ball. That's the only reason. And I mean, Suter being Suter, I agreed with that camera angle.
I
don't know.
I would say the defender had both of his hands around the ball, but but inside of his two hands was Rhymes' one. I mean, sorry, Hatcher's one hand. So Hatcher had one hand on the ball, and then the Saskatchewan DB put both hands over the ball, including Hatcher's hand.
Yeah.
But Hatcher only had one hand, and his second hand was coming in.
Well, it wasn't even coming in. I think it was already there.
Yeah, or maybe a split second, like it's like.
If you have that camera angle that TSN had, his second hand wasn't in until they were falling out of. And I think that's why the refs also call it incomplete, because neither of them had definitive possession as they were falling out of bounds.
The refs called it an interception, and
but I'm saying command center.
Yeah, the command center.
Because they had the better camera angle from the sideline, where the sound dish guy is. That's where the camera angle plus the one from behind.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, this looked like a simultaneous catch.
Yeah, I agree with you, Roland.
And in a simultaneous catch, it goes to the receiver.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Well, I'm going to have to stand. I'm not in agreement with the wardrobe choice tonight, but I'm going to have to beg to differ. I'm going to have to stand on my own. That was not simultaneous.
And then here the ball comes out, but it never touches the ground.
Nope.
Hatcher is
has
able
complete possession by now.
He was able to kind of secure it to the back of his head. Okay, so here's another angle. Let's see if this is clearer. See, it looks to me here that all four hands are on the ball. Right? So Hatcher's left hand is inside the in between the two hands of the defender, and his right hand is right there. You can see the armband, the orange armband right here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And his hand is definitely, I mean, whether it's like 2-3 inches away from the ball or right on the ball, it's hard to tell from here. But definitely his hand was it was there. And I think maybe as the Saskatchewan DB was pulling the ball away, so actually his hand got jostled away.
Exactly.
And he re-engaged it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he still had his other hand in it. Like, does he need to have two hands?
Yeah.
Receivers usually catch with one hand, typically, right?
To eliminate this whole argument, throw it to number 7.
Well, I mean, I think Vernon's pass is a little too relaxed.
Yeah.
But all of this could have been avoided if he had thrown it to number 7.
I
would have been happier if it was an incomplete to number 7 than a force into number 4.
Yes,
Say
definitely.
what you want. I mean, it's right there. It's right there in film.
Well, I mean, by the time he threw it, Burr was lucky in his pattern.
Yeah.
You just don't know, right? I mean, you look at where the first replay is when Vernon had the ball and he threw it. It's just a question of Hatcher was more open, and then his pass was a little slow.
Yeah.
Okay. You put more air on it into the corner, let Lucky run under it, is a better possibility than what he was throwing to runs in that same corner.
Just don't know where Lucky is on the field when Adams let go of the ball.
I do, because I was calling it from the stands. He was more open than Hatcher.
Okay. Well, again, I just don't. Did Adams want to go to that? Like, maybe he thought this was a safer play. I don't know. Like, again, I need to see the full view before
But again, like I said, as a fan in the stands, that looks like tunnel vision to me.
Yeah. But regardless, I think the refs blew it on this one. I think it's a simultaneous catch, and in a simultaneous catch, it needs to go to the receiver. It can't.
I agree. So if it is truly simultaneous, I like to see the rules.
By definition of the rule, yeah.
Yeah. And he even secures it. It never touches the ground. But So,
but is it secured by either of them before they go out of bounds? That's the other thing. You can't see from this angle either, right?
Yeah.
Best call, the official holding the first down marker has the best view of the whole thing.
Well, it's not really enough. He's the...
well, that's what I'm saying. The official, he's best view, but he can't make a call.
He can't make the call. They don't confer with him, unfortunately.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was that. And then next play, after this, we need to go... we go into the end zone, and it's to Rhymes again.
This was just a bad angle.
Yeah.
So this is the angle. Maybe he's like, okay, I drew the other one. I said, okay, maybe then you explode into the ball. But
I think they ran out of room on that one.
Yeah, right? I think he tried to go a little left to throw him off, and then try to come. The DB kind of.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Got in his way. Oh, there's hands there.
Exactly. So this wasn't called, right?
Of course.
I mean, like, right here.
Yeah, and contact there, and then contact to keep him off the line.
But we got called on a phantom illegal contact, which I'm still trying to... I've watched, I don't know how many angles I'm able to watch, and I've not seen that one either.
There's contact.
And a pull. There's a tug when you see Ryan's arm go back like that. There's a pull.
So, again, it wasn't called. Yeah, the one thing that I might criticize Adams for is that was he forcing it into Rhymes, right? Because the two kind of missed touchdowns. This was the second one, was both to Rhymes. And Rhymes might still be cold, right?
Did he have a reception by that? I don't know if he had
did.
one.
He did. For this second one, he had one reception prior to this.
That was the one down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you give it to someone who's a bit more warmed up, I think.
Yeah.
Like the play before, the guy number 7 who was probably warmed up. The play before we were talking about, I'm just, I'm going to let it go now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those out there in Leo's land, like and subscribe. Either agree or disagree. Let us know.
Yeah. Anyway, so we settle for another field goal here.
Is this field goal 3 now? This is our 9
this
points?
is our second field goal.
Second one? Okay.
And then they get the ball back, and I want to show you from this play from this drive.
Boink.
It goes right through
Sales.
Sale's hands. That should have been an interception.
Should have been.
Did you see RP come up to him right after that? You see what RP did? He's like, you catch him like this, not like this, like this. So I think Sales came in like this, and it went right through.
Yeah, but still, I mean, the defense, our defense was still going strong, going hot.
The Saskatchewan receiver had a shot at that ball too, I
He
believe.
did, because it went right through the hands, but it was enough. It was enough to kind of, lose his concentration. So.
And he's in the air too, so it's hard to.
Yeah, because it was deflected. The ball was deflected. So.
Hey, 100% positionally, Sales was where he needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most important thing is he denied the pass.
Yeah.
Should have had a pick, but he denied the pass at least.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a pick this year, has he?
I'm not sure.
Didn't he fumble on a fumble or an interception earlier this year?
He ran into the crowd. We talked about that one at length.
But the thing is, I don't know if he. Oh, it was a punt. It was a punt.
Oh yeah, that's right. A short punt. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So then we get the ball back. So here, this one is a Hatcher 37-yarder. Now this was beautiful because we were like right under our goalposts, right? So, to get 37 yards, we're out of our goalpost there. So,
Flip the field.
yeah, so it's beautiful play.
Can we back that up a little?
Sure.
Are we looking for Lucky again?
I wasn't looking. I saw him. But I've got to say, Adams had a ton of time. If we can give him that kind of time next week, it'll be a really good outcome. He had a ton of time. I think what they rushed 5?
Well,
They had 6 on the line of scrimmage, but then
7.
only 3 went in.
Yeah, 3 went in.
They thought it was going to be a run play. And then they let 2 guys go, and then they're going to just do a screen, but Adams decided to go deep.
Stop. Okay, so if he doesn't get it, it's out of bounds, second down. But I'm just saying, is Lucky not as open?
There is a cover 2 safety. You don't, you see? That person's
right
coming crashing down on that pass if you're throwing it to Lucky.
Yeah, this guy here.
Hatcher is more wide
Oh.
open. Hatcher is more wide open.
Yeah. Anyway, good play. We got it out from the danger zone. Then next play in this drive, it goes to Rhymes for 23 yards. So this was nice. Rhymes is starting to get back into it.
I remember Suter making a comment there on the highlight package that Adams protected the receiver on that throw. We're talking elementary football basics, but it's a good call on Adams to protect his receiver.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's end of first quarter. These are the stats. Pretty dominant. 9 first downs to 1, 179 passing to 25, rushing. 11 is not a good number, but compared to -1, it's quite a bit better. So
That is shocking.
it is
Pleasantly shocking. -1 rush for a quarter worth of football.
Yeah. So that was the end of the first quarter, and then so we continued with the drive. We still have possession into the second quarter, and we get sacked here. So this was one of I think, was it 3 or 4 sacks we took that evening?
4.
Yeah. So there was still something that we need to work on. So that last sack, I don't have it queued up, but that last sack, I think Vern got hurt a bit, right? He was holding on to his tailbone.
Oh, the one who's holding his back?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did he get bent over too far? Or did he take a knee in the back? I couldn't see.
He didn't look like he got bent over from what I saw.
Because he kind of went down in a sitting position, and then
Yeah.
the weight. But I couldn't see if the lineman that fell on him maybe got him in the back somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, so this drive ends in another field goal. So how many field goals do we have at this point?
3.
3, right? So then Saskatchewan gets the ball back, and now it's our turn to get a sack. Debaye gets a sack here. So that was nice. No time at all for Donegal. We had multiple people there. So, and then same drive. This was an interception by.
Oh, that was a gift.
Yeah, I mean he was in the right place at the right time, and
It was close enough to make a play.
Yeah, and he made a play.
And that's what you want.
Exactly.
And that's what you want.
Yeah. So beautiful interception. Snuffs out their drive, so they get nothing. Unfortunately, in our next series, we punted away. We don't get anything either. And then the ball goes back to Saskatchewan. So now they start this drive. So now they're starting to get into the rhythm. So that was a 20-yard pass.
Now it hurt. They're on the 15-yard line. It was 2nd and 10 on their 15-yard line, and they got.
And they convert. They move out to their 35-yard line, and then there's a replay. So I'll skip the replay. And then after that, there's this play.
Hold. Yeah, that was a hold there.
Hold.
Would you call blocking in the back on that one too, Arthur?
I would just hold. I think it was Katoy. He held, and then once the guy got through the hole, then he let go. But it should be a hold.
Okay.
You're talking about
there's the hold. Yeah,
this
okay.
guy here?
Yeah, and then you'll see more. You'll see more holding. But yeah, the blocking the black on Emulus. Yeah.
Emulus, yeah. I thought it was a hold, and then right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a block in the back. Yeah. Well, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, he was pretty smooth. Like he had his arms
accidentally
out to the side.
on purpose. Yeah, but it was more. I think the hold on Couture. I don't know, like what you can do, like holding the guy's shoulder pads. I guess that's okay, right?
Not when it's outside. He's got him out here. That on Regumba with the orange shoot, or is that Moje being held?
Oh, it's Moje. Yeah, Moje. Then yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Green. Well, I guess Green also tried to get to Green out of position.
Yeah.
Because if Green had stayed back here, he might have cut the angle.
Well, then maybe he thought he was going to go in the middle.
Yeah, that too, because he's running that way.
Yeah, you take away the middle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
But give Bain credit. He read the hole, the illegally blocked hole.
Yeah. So anyway, that was 30 yards. So they're marching down the field. Then continuing on with the same drive. This one was 32 yards. So he doesn't make it into the end zone, but next play they do punch it in for a touchdown. So on this defensive series, our defense finally gives up a touchdown. But we held strong for almost 2 quarters, right? 4:56 left in the second quarter. Had our offense been doing touchdowns, then instead of field goals, then but how much can you expect the defense to hold, right? So yeah. So
did you guys feel at any point Saskatchewan was going to take over this game?
No. I mean, they had this one good series. The Lions drove the field more. But as Roland will show, the Lions answered back before the half was done. Mm-hmm. So if the Lions did not answer back before the half was done, then maybe some doubt starts to creep in. But soon thereafter, the Lions make a statement.
Not immediately though. So after this touchdown, on the ensuing kickoff. This is the return.
No, this is where the kicker got hurt.
Yeah, so not a bad return.
Nope.
Pretty good return. So we got pretty good field position, but on that drive,
you got snuffed out, and then they punted, right? there was a change of possession then, Roland?
Yeah,
I
sorry.
believe it was.
Because so then the Lions
right.
got the ball back with like 40 some seconds left,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
they got it in the end zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously a 1-point game. They got to the 34, so they're already in field goal range with 12 seconds left. They probably had 1 or 2 shots to the end zone, and then it was a beautiful pattern to Hatcher in a man-to-man situation.
Yeah.
And I think that's the matchup they were hoping for all night was on Moncrief. I remember them saying that in the broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hatcher's like the number 2 receiver in the CFL in terms of yardage, and definitely number 1 in terms of yards per game because he missed a couple. And if you want to go man to man with him, you're gonna get burned.
Yeah. So this was our
simple post pattern.
Our response before the end of the half.
I guess they did a blitz with their safety. They went man to man. Yeah, it looks like they're doing man to man. And they were blitzing. They had to send. Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I thought they thought the Lions were going to do a short zone pass, a short pass and enemy pass, and they just did a post.
Yeah, because here he comes crashing down on Lucky. Then boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Lucky wasn't getting the ball. You think they're doubling him? Break. I jest. They're not doubling Lucky. Lucky's over there with Marshall anyways. But it looks like their safety came in and kind of became like their middle linebacker, took that short zone, vacated a typical safety's position.
Yeah.
And then they took advantage.
Yeah. So end of Q2, these are the stats. So they've got a bit more first downs now, 14-11. Passing yards is still quite lopsided. Rushing yards, we haven't really gained that much more. So at this point, they've sacked our quarterback 3 times. Yards per play was 9.2 because of some of the big plays, I think, right? So yeah, 19-11, still a bit close at this point. I was glad that we were able to answer back with a touchdown, but I was a little bit concerned that because Saskatchewan's still in the game, that we got to be strong, right?
That's why I asked if I wasn't sitting near you guys, but were you confident like this is Saskatchewan, even though they had that one good drive, did you feel that they were going to threaten at all during this game up to this point?
I don't know if it's threatened. I think I was more concerned that our offense needs to start getting more majors. So we got to get our opportunities and get 7s out of our opportunities. Because we've had a lot of opportunities, but we only got they were mostly field goals, right?
I mean, it's a tight game, but Lions have led from the start. So yeah. I mean, Saskatchewan never led. It got close with when after the Lions had 9 points and the Saskatchewan 8 after a touchdown. Then the Lions kind of were able to get a little bit more distance, and then into the third quarter, I think they started to, at least into the second half of the third quarter, start to play a bit better. But yeah, their offense needed to be better.
Yeah.
But Dolegala, I mean, I think the Lions had him in check for one drive.
Yeah. So we go into Q3. Q3, Saskatchewan gets the ball first. They end up punting on their drive. And then we get the ball. We end up punting on our drive. And then this is Saskatchewan's second offensive drive. So here, Matthew Betts gets a nice sack. So
welcome back, Mr. Betts.
Yeah, beautiful sack. A 9-yard loss there. So this was a 2-and-out for Saskatchewan. We get the ball back, and then this beautiful play happens. Oh no, there's a replay. Sorry. Okay.
Max pass protection. Yeah. Wide open, Greg. That is wide open.
So that
is definition of wide open.
Yeah. So when this happened, then I was thinking, okay, we're not holding back now. So, what happened here in the Saskatchewan defense?
Well,
Actually, maybe
when I watched the rebroadcast, they showed Moncrief coming up on it, thinking the safety was going to come over, because you see Moncrief points at that safety as Hollins runs by Moncrief,
yeah,
and the safety never came over. That's what the TSN guys were saying was the blown coverage, was this miscommunication right here. Moncrief stops, yeah, and he's got his arm out. I can't see, but that safety, he was calling him over, and I think the safety just stayed in the middle of the field.
Well, no, it's because they thought the ball was going to go. Who's standing at the 55 yard line? It's a curl pattern, right?
Oh,
so
I
their
can't see the
safety.
line.
That Hollins ran by?
Yeah, so that's probably Hatcher, right?
Yeah, but
Or-
that's why Moncrief came up and let Hollins go, and he was either thinking Marshall on the outside or the safety was supposed to take him, and neither guy did.
Well, okay, Marshall was telling the safety to switch to Hollins.
This guy's Marshall.
No, Marshall's on
that's
the
Moncrief.
corner. Marshall's the corner.
Okay, that's Marshall.
Yeah. So he was signaling with his hand. Like I saw that in the stands, like switch. But with all of the passes going to Hatcher and Rhymes,
Yep.
of course the DBs are going to start to cheat toward them. So when Adams is about to cock, that safety doesn't know it's in like it's the same line,
exactly.
right?
You don't
Adams
know.
is cocking. You don't know if it's going short or long. You're going to take the short guy because it's most likely it's Hatcher. I think it's Hatcher.
Right in, yeah, that is like right on the 50 on the C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Hatcher.
Yeah. So
That's
the safety is going to go to Hatcher because hey, like we said, how many passes
right.
are being forced to there, right?
That's right.
And
So
then this is when
these two guys are going
so
that
this
way.
is the perfect time is then you hit Hollins, then you hit Lucky after you establish some type of tendency, and then you hit them with the curveball.
And I think Marshall realized too late that safety didn't do what I asked him to do.
Because the safety's thinking, hey, the ball's going to Hatcher.
Yeah.
And you probably thought it was going to go to Hatcher too.
Me? Or you and
You've been saying they have tunnel vision toward Hatcher. So
I'm not saying this game, but yes, it again sitting in the, it just looks like it. Yes.
Okay,
I didn't even see Hollins run by.
So you think Saskatchewan's not thinking the same thing?
Yeah.
But they're going to show three guys thinking again, two maybe on Hatcher, but three?
I mean, it's a curl. So like
this
they're
guy's
like,
going with the
you know, I mean,
Hollins.
they can't pre-plan it, right? It's all like game action, game speed, right? But anyways, that's why you do it. Then you're gonna get guys being kind of overlooked.
Yeah. Arthur makes a good point, right? You establish some tendency, then they start to take shortcuts based on your tendencies, and then you surprise them with throwing away from Hatcher to Hollins.
And you have two perfect receivers, and Hollins and Lucky that can get open behind coverage, and those are your home run hitters. So if you keep throwing to your slots. And then your odd time you hit Hollins, you hit Lucky, and those break the game wide open. Exactly what happened in this game. Game plan.
That is beautiful.
That is beautiful.
That's
That's
beautiful.
like good, almost 8 yards, 9 yards. Yeah,
And
by that time,
we were sitting somewhere here too, right?
Yeah, we were like, wow.
We had perfect. That was a beautiful play.
I was like, don't drop it. Don't overthrow. Don't trip on your own shoelaces, please.
He's got to work on his high step, though. He's got to work on the Deion Sanders high step.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I got one more replay here, so it's such a beautiful play.
Look at that. The traffic toward Hatcher.
Yeah.
It's like, don't drop the ball, please.
All right, so that was beautiful. And then Saskatchewan gets the ball back, but it's a 2-and-out. It's a 2-and-out, so then we get the ball back, and then I have a few plays from that drive.
Momentum is on our side.
Yeah.
Fully.
So 25
Boink.
yards to Rhymes. So that was just a quick replay here.
Is that little curl, this like That was that curl to Hatcher that but then it went deep to Hollins. So this is that same kind of pattern.
Yeah.
The lines have been always throwing to, mind you.
Defender actually, I think he might have touched the ball a little bit. Right? Because the ball looks like it got deflected.
Yep, the spiral changes.
Yeah.
And good on Rhymes for pulling
Yeah, you
that
see,
concentration.
it bounces off Rhymes' chest.
And he
And
grabbed
then
it.
he still secures the ball. Yeah.
Big play.
Yeah.
That's a tight window.
Yeah.
That's almost forcing it in there. But hey, got completions.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, bounces off and that guy picks it. Oh, that would have been bad. But yeah, got a completion.
Yeah. And then it's not all roses. There's some adversity on this drive. We do get sacked.
That's the one he comes
Oh,
up. See
oh,
there,
yeah,
there.
yeah.
This is the one he comes up holding his back.
I think so.
Because-
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure if you watch as he sees the sack coming, he just kind of turtles and he sits down almost.
I
And
think he landed on a rider.
Let's see.
I think he landed. Although there's a rider on the ground there. He must have landed on him, I wonder. He got twisted or something.
yeah, because he's kind of starts to sit down.
Yeah.
Here he turns. There's nobody. And then I'm not sure if he got bent over too far forward, or this lion, or the rider, or this other guy. Because then I think is that Perkins or Brown falls on top of the whole pile. So it's just.
Wow,
I wonder if it's just weight and him sitting down. It's just a lot of.
There's
weight.
3 riders and 1 lineman that,
yeah, I
that are
think-
now on a dog pile
He
here.
might have been
Yeah, and
hurt
if
by
he's sitting
68.
like this, I'm just wondering if he. I hope he didn't pull anything.
Dude, man, it doesn't matter what position, man. If there's like 4 guys on top of my back, I don't care what position I'm in. My back's gonna hurt. Right?
Well, this guy accounts for 2, so.
Exactly.
Oh, that must be Broxton then. Yes, from the left. That's Broxton.
So, but yeah, he was definitely uncomfortable, but he gritted it and he hung in there. He hung in there, yeah.
So lots of the game to be played.
So, and
He
then
looked pretty comfortable in his post game.
You feel a lot better after a win.
so this was a short pass to Whitehead, but get some nice yak yards.
Oh, that was the big 2nd and 18.
Yeah, right after the sack. Right?
Yeah.
So this
and
was
he got the first down.
this was beautiful. Yeah, I'm always nervous when they do a short pass on a 2nd and long.
Look at the block here. And this block was great.
Is that holding?
Nope. 'Cause their hands were together. Their hands were
Who was
together.
that? Who was that blocking? Was that
Rhymes?
is that Rhymes?
It might be.
Yeah, it's Rhymes.
Yeah, it's not McInnes, right? Because he
Nope.
didn't come in. So
But you look at that. Rhymes blocked his guy into the other guy. I don't know what Lucky was thinking here. I'll just go down.
Well, I mean, he couldn't go straight because then there's some traffic. I think he tried to cut back and then fake out Dean and then cut it
I
up.
think he faked
but-
himself out.
yeah,
Well, I mean, but Dean got him.
yeah, but that
And the
was,
pursuit angles were there too. There's another guy come in. So
yeah, but still got the first down. So
got the first down.
yeah, which is the important thing.
2nd and long.
I know.
Second target.
That must be a gut punch to the rider, son, Greg. Allowing a 2nd and long against.
With a little flare pass like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
must be.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen. It doesn't work all the time, right? Many times we just run a
He
little
gets
bit.
blown
and
up
then-
on 2nd and long. They usually.
Yeah.
But maybe they were defending deep. I don't know.
It was that one block by Rhymes, right, that freed him because he held up 2 defenders. He blocked one, but
And put a block into right there.
yeah. I guess
That guy,
Lucky's
number 38 took a bad angle.
Yeah.
yeah, and Lucky's acceleration, really helped here. Like his acceleration just got him out of that. So yeah, beautiful.
Is that there, Dean? Oh no, that's not. Is that Dean coming down?
Yep,
Is that
it is.
Dean coming down?
Yep.
Okay.
So then
And one of the better tacklers in the league.
after that, we have this play. It's a run play to Hollins.
Got 11, I think, on this one.
Yeah. So that was beautiful. There's so many bodies here, but he still managed to get outside all of them. And
It looked like he was gonna get stuffed there, Roland.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
he kinda-
Yes.
He
Yeah.
kind of. Everyone thought maybe he's gonna cut back inside, but he kind of just paused and then accelerated. I think it was Katoy got the edge and pushed back 16.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that was Katoy that pushed that
I
guy
think,
out.
did he slow up and just wait for Katoy to do that was well done.
Yeah,
Because it looks like it was stuffed, and Katoy hit him once there, and then he hit him again.
But also Katoy turned him inside, so I
Yeah.
mean that's when Hollins can make that decision. And then
Yeah.
hitting him again was great. And then 38's chasing again.
Well, again, it's hard.
Works for me.
He's chasing fast receivers.
Yeah. But this is a good sign, right? We've got our star receiver Rhymes holding a block here. Katoy, doing that block over there. By the time we get to Hatcher here, he's already released his block, but but I guess he was blocking him for a while.
No, but there's nothing more he could do unless he takes an illegal block in the back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So nice.
Still better than other Lions receivers of the past, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I like the way these guys block.
And then,
That's all I'm going to say, Arthur. I'm not going to say anything else about other.
I was
receivers
gonna mention about your Jerry Rice reference. I'm just wondering why you didn't say the word, G. Rice Simon instead.
I don't.
right.
Wasn't tip of the tongue.
No, sorry, I don't see that. I don't see Lions colors with 81. I'm
I don't see Lions colors with Jerry Rice either. But anyways,
I do more than G. Roy. But anyway,
Okay, so then next play sets this up. Maybe not the next play immediately, but Sing drive. Back to Hollins for his second touchdown.
big route wide open.
Yeah.
Would you say Suter was saying something about the pick?
the subtle post pick is what he said. I mean,
Yeah.
the pattern was run beautifully to use the goalpost. Is what
Yeah,
Suter
like
said.
right
Oh,
here.
I mean,
Right here.
well,
Right there.
So, basically the defender had to go this way and then around the post.
well,
So, but yeah, you might as well use it. It's right there, right?
It's legal.
Yeah. I mean, you can use
post is there. It's in every CFL stadium.
Exactly.
Post rub.
Well, there's a referee there.
Yeah, you can
too.
use the ref too, right? Yeah, I've seen.
So you wonder why that guy didn't go with Hollins. Well, I guess he's close it. Why the guy just offers me didn't go with Hollins.
Because they're playing a man-to-man
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah.
If they were playing zone, they would have done. They would. I think pre-snap they would have got. He got a read. It was man, and then boom.
Yeah. So a few replays here.
There was a few options on that one.
That's. Oh, I mean, obviously that was the wide. He was wide open.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying there was. You watch all that develop. There's a, if he's not, there's another option. It's good.
I think the rest are. Well, I think the guy who's breaking under the goalpost is the most. The guy that the second. I would say the second best chance, but obviously Hollins wide open.
Yeah. But no, what about the guy coming out of the backfield? I mean, there.
Wow, but then there's two defenders in the flat.
Are there?
Yeah, I mean, I still think the guy who's under
There's
the
no
goalpost
defenders
right
in the
now.
flat.
Because don't forget, these two guys can turn around. They can turn around, but the guy who's under the goalpost is probably the second option.
Yeah, but I'm just saying there's plenty. I mean, they turn around. He's over. This guy down here,
Okay,
the one on the flat is already gone.
There's
by the time
three
they turn
options.
around.
I say there's three options.
Yep.
For you.
Yeah. Like, this guy, if he kept going, could have gotten it.
Yeah.
This guy could have gotten
Yeah,
it.
in the flat. I mean, there's a good chance. This is what, first down? I don't even know. First or second down.
Actually,
Yeah,
there's
because the guy in the flat,
there's
the
a guy
guy
out
on the
here
goal
too.
line can block that guy. It's nice play by Jordy Mack.
Yeah. So,
But you've given up 2 wide open touchdowns to 13. That's got to be demoralizing.
Well, they're trying to shut down Hatcher and Rhymes, right?
yeah. So, end of Q3, these are the stats. 22 to 13, 422 to 183. So yeah, a lot of their yards came in the fourth quarter for Saskatchewan, right? Yeah, so fourth quarter, basically, I think our offense kind of shut down a little bit.
Conservative. Don't give them anything.
Yeah.
Don't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Try to run.
So Saskatchewan gets the ball. They march from their 52 to BC 24, and they missed on a field goal. So, but they did march down a bit, and then it's a missed field goal there, so they get a single. We get the ball back, but we end up punting it away, and then Saskatchewan gets the ball back from their 45, and they march it all the way down to our BC 11. So they're getting some pretty good yards there, and then they're threatening near our end zone, and this play happens.
TJ.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that was a bad
there.
throw.
Yeah,
That was a bad throw.
Yeah. So, but
Put it on the money, it'd probably be as a touchdown, right?
yeah. But beautiful. When this happened, I thought that's it. This is the nail in the coffin, right? 447.
447.
Yeah.
There was people leaving again.
Was there pressure on the quarterback? I guess we may not say.
Yeah, I'm sure. Because, he's their third string quarterback. He wants to make it work. He knows BC is a top contender. But I thought this was it. We got the ball back. They didn't score. They didn't even get a field goal. And I thought we just need to, kill the time, get a score, and then that's it. But it wasn't going to happen because we weren't able to establish anything. Suddenly we just kind of.
I was saying to you, Roland, why is Adams still in the game?
That's true. Yes.
I was saying, why isn't Evans in? And you're up by 22 or 21 now.
Evans was actually not dressed, so it would have been.
Yeah, Evans wasn't dressed.
So it would have been Davis. Oh boy.
So
maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why. Yeah.
Show some love, guys. Show some love.
Sorry. Okay.
Sorry, Dominic Davis.
But when we need to kill the time, we need to be able to run the ball. Right?
Run it down their throats.
Like that's what a championship team does, right? Everyone knows they're going to run, and they're still going to run it down your throat, but we can't.
Look at the guys they have in the box, man. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the box, and then 2 guys. Yeah, they got 6 in the box and 2. Yeah, there's 8 in the box, 2 linebackers.
Yeah.
You could have thrown it somewhere.
Well, yeah, they're setting up. They could have just thrown it to Hatcher. They could have thrown it to Rhymes, but they just decided we're just running the ball and we're going to kill time.
Yeah.
Adams could roll out and kill a few seconds even if he's going to throw it. That'd kill something.
Yeah, Hollins is setting up, right? But then they probably had outnumbered Saskatchewan on the right hand side, right?
But if you do that, that means you're basically giving up on the run.
Yeah, that's just saying, okay.
If you're leading at the end of the game, championship teams are still able to run the ball, right?
But they had more guys at the, where the gap they're trying to go through.
Okay.
They had more. Saskatchewan had more guys than we did there.
So you think for this play, even if it was a run call, they should have.
Look at that! They had gap cancellation. They had 6 guys in the line of scrimmage and 1 guy coming in. That's 7, and then the 8th is coming in, and then 9th. You see.
Yeah,
that's a lot of guys coming in, rallying to the ball.
You could have almost play action, do a little bubble screen to Hollins down here or something. I mean, I think we would have got a decent gain.
Yeah. I think you would have got 5-6 yards if you just threw it to one of the receivers down there.
Yeah.
Lucky's blocking out the one guy on him.
Yeah.
You got these 3 and those other ones, it had to be a good play action. But then again, you haven't run all games, and would the play action have even sold them on anything? Well, I guess they figured they'd run to kill the clock, so maybe play action works.
I mean, obviously, they held so many guys in the box, so they weren't. They were going to shut down the run.
Yeah.
They knew Rick Campbell was going to just run the ball. I mean, you're up 3 scores, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
But at 3:50, that's a millennial time, right?
It is. I mean,
it's a long time in the CFL, but it's 21 points.
Yes.
And they only
And they haven't done it. Yes, I hear you.
It would still be good to get a couple first downs, right?
No, exactly. And you're on the BC 47. Again, Campbell's not going to risk a pass and risk a juggle and then an interception. Yeah. So just keep it on the ground. We'll make you earn it because you're not going to score 3 touchdowns in under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You shouldn't anyway.
You shouldn't. But they definitely tried. So this.
Yeah, they tried.
This next. So that was 0 yards, and then this next one is back to Mizell, but in the air.
Rally. I don't know why he turned around like that.
I don't know why too.
I should have spun inside. I was supposed to go outside.
How about you just run and pick a direction?
You
the
spin.
scat backs don't do that, Arthur.
But
I
you know
don't
what?
know.
The Lions did. As soon as yesterday or today, they signed another running back to their practice roster. Just saying. I'm not saying something's going to happen to Mizell, but they signed yet another running back.
Like,
Yeah, they've got guys on the practice roster that have been sitting there all year that they haven't even tried yet. Holy cow.
I think they're trying them in practice. I think they need a little bit more out of the running game.
yeah, because if he makes contact before he makes a spin move, then maybe he might have been able to.
Yeah, he's just
Do something.
slowing himself down for the tacklers to get him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, so, because
And
of
they're
that,
all trying to take the ball away, I'm sure.
yeah,
So you launch yourself at a defender, and then you go down in securing the ball, but you stand up with no momentum.
yeah, that's right.
They're wrapping up and trying to strip, right, Greg?
Exactly.
Yep. That's, again, why I'm not so happy with the way Terry Williams runs so upright. Open field, fine, but I don't know. You don't hit a crowd running upright because then the ball's like right there.
Yeah.
And we've seen what happens.
So we don't convert on the
First
second
guy
down.
stands him up even taller, and here comes two guys to fight for the ball.
And then they drive him back 5 yards and then finish him on the ground.
Yeah,
You think the whistle will blow by now?
Yeah. Maybe it did. I don't have the audio.
But then
here.
they don't call a penalty. Because when the whistle blows, you're supposed to let up, right?
Right?
Yeah.
But if the whistle didn't,
But
Well,
then,
I think a lot of the times the whistle blew, and we're like, okay,
Yeah,
they finished the tackle. I'm like, what's the deal?
Yeah, usually once you're wrapped up, then they let you finish it. But if you come in right now and you initiate another hit, then they'll call that. So the guys who
not
already
this crew.
Especially that, right? You're just begging people to get injured. But anyways, whatever.
anyway. So, but yeah, I just imagine other running backs, right? Like Oliveira, Butler, Harris. They would have driven down, right?
They would have initiated contact and then went and then dive forward.
Yeah,
dove
especially-
forward for
Fall
two.
Yeah.
minimum, fall forward, yes.
You need to get 10 yards. So anyway, so then we need to punt. So this is the punt. And this is called a no yards.
Yeah, I mean,
That looks 5 yards.
just within 5 yards. Just within 5 yards.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I think the guy gets inside 5 once the well, no, because he's ahead of the 20 by a step.
Yeah,
But-
it's maybe
but if
like
you
a
look-
quarter of a yard.
yeah. So he's
In the 5
here.
yards,
He's
so.
here.
And he's blocked, technically, so really,
Yeah. So I don't know. That was like borderline, but this game all the borderlines were going against us, right?
But like Arthur says, as long as we get the calls in the playoffs,
That's right, man. As long as we get the calls in the playoffs, doesn't matter when you're up by 21 and 2:35 left.
that's right.
Yeah. So
You can have all the calls then.
So they get 15 yards tacked on. So now they start from Saskatchewan 37, and they march it all the way down to get a touchdown. And then the next play, they go for an onside kick.
117,
Yeah.
14 points.
So this one I wasn't happy with either.
Yeah, it was too easy.
Yeah. So if you see here, actually even here, so we've got 5-6 guys here on Saskatchewan side, and we've got 3 blockers and 2 people who might catch the ball. So they already outnumbered us. And then as the play progresses, we got three more guys from Saskatchewan coming this way, and
Our 3 in the middle are standing still.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So,
So they got there late, and those three riders influenced the play.
yeah. So
Yeah, it's
so now, yeah, look, these 3 are now running this way, but you're not going to be able to make it in time. So we got 4 people who are supposed to block.
8
like,
people.
look at all these people here, right? So the numbers.
well executed by Saskatchewan. You got to give them that.
Yeah. So, and then we don't even make the blocks. And I can't see the numbers here, but I think Schaefer Baker is the one who catches the ball, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Well, there's one guy way back there. Yeah. I mean, why did they have the guy way in the back? I guess in just in case they really punted deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was why they were outnumbered. They had one guy way in the back.
Yeah.
I guess this must have been Williams.
So I think these three should have been closer.
So they're down 4.
Yeah.
Or 4 or 3, because then I guess lullers.
But the blockers also need to see who are the receivers here.
They should create a cushion around the ball, right? But they went to the sideline, and actually the ball was a little bit more inside the sideline.
Yeah, what they need to do
is the ball in the air?
Yeah, the ball.
Yeah, I can't. Has it left the tee?
Oh yeah, it's in the air right now.
It's in the air,
Okay,
yeah.
so then our blockers should have already been up to the 35-yard line of Saskatchewan. Like, they're waiting for Saskatchewan to come and eliminate them. They should have held them up here, because then that ball would have been then their receivers would not have gotten to the ball if these guys on that line had pushed up. But they waited.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb. That was ridiculous.
And then they all go to this 2 guys on the sideline, which I don't understand that either.
Yeah. But
I guess they really want to block those 2 guys. Then.
I mean, you got to see who's the receiver. If this is a receiver, then you make sure you block him, right? Because the receivers have the highest chance of catching the ball, right?
Yep.
But Schaefer Baker is untouched. You know, his first contact is with Kotoy there, who's also trying to catch the ball.
Right, but the guys in front of Schaefer Baker eliminate Kotoy and keep him from getting to the trajectory.
Are you allowed to do that? I guess you are, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
It's not like a pass.
Nope.
No.
So
that's why-
there's no pass interference on a free
No,
ball, I guess.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Those guys that were on R40 should have met Saskatchewan on
Yeah.
their 35.
And they should have stopped them, right?
Yeah.
Because if you stop the first wave,
Then that ball has gone over their wave to our guys
and
waiting.
This second wave has to get through to get to the ball, right?
Yeah.
I just didn't like it. The 3 guys that are late, not, like you said, not engaging in the 35-yard line.
Yep.
This is a comedy of errors here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But yet Saskatchewan executed that beautiful onside kick against Winnipeg. He kicked it to himself and he fetal positioned around that ball. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what those 3 were kind of expecting again.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Yeah.
Because they didn't move as fast,
That's
right?
right.
They kind of went over slowly.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because maybe those 3 come, and then if he dribbles it to himself and falls on it because there's nobody in the center of the field.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you need 3 there. Then you
That's
just
true.
need 2.
That's true.
Yeah, like a spy. Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
true.
mean, I don't know. I mean, 3 of you to beat the kicker.
Because
Yeah.
if you look at these Saskatchewan's other 3, they do absolutely nothing. The ones at the top of the screen, they've not even left their spot.
Yeah, I mean, they're decoys, right? That's all.
Yeah.
That's all they were. So.
Yeah.
So I think here's another angle. So look at that. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 Saskatchewan guys and 1 BC guy going. So yeah, the odds were in their favor, and they got it right.
That almost looks like the rugby lift, you know, when they throw the ball in from the sidelines. Like, let's just lift up Schaefer Baker.
Yeah. So then this is their last touchdown. So
This is the stupidest.
yeah, we were.
Oh,
we
that
were
was a
called-
simultaneous pass interference
Yeah,
call.
we were.
Ridiculous. It's offensive if more than anything.
Yeah. So.
So
We'll get to that
technically,
further.
that was another penalty against Saskatchewan.
Yeah, but it
The
was.
thing is, they
offsetting.
initially called it defensive.
Yes,
Yeah.
they did.
They huddled up and did like for a minute, and then it's defensive, and then like Campbell throws the flag pretty far into the field.
Well, he had to stop the convert because they were about to kick the 1-point convert, and so if
Yeah,
he didn't
because they
stop
execute
that,
a play you can't challenge, right?
yeah,
He
so-
was pretty. I'm sure he's pretty upset.
He
I mean,
tried-
I was upset
Yeah.
about the lack of penalties. Can you imagine him?
Yeah. But I don't know what they were looking at here. You see the hand, it's like white on black. You could see there's a grab there, and I don't know if you could see his numbers actually stretch like the number on his back kind of gets stretched as he gets pulled, right? So the hand here is pulling, it's pulling his jersey right there. I don't know if you could. Well, maybe the replay. Okay. Yeah. You see the numbers there are all scrunched up, right?
I mean, there's an official like right nearby. There's one, one off to the right there, and there's one back toward the side. It's ridiculous how they can't see this.
Yeah. So I don't know. The whole game they weren't calling. I mean, I'm glad the command center.
Yeah, this guy right in the corner. Like, I don't know, like...
Who threw the flag and said defensive pass interference?
That's the guy who was like, oh, no, it's defensive because, his jersey shouldn't be pulled like that. That's defensive for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, the play had to do a do-over because it was simultaneous, both offensive and defensive pass interference. But they still get the touchdown, and then now they're going to do another onside kick. So
it should have been offensive, and they should have been on the 11-yard line. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's. But this time it's exactly the same play. So the good thing here is that we learned, right? So you got the 3 guys there, we've got our 3 guys here. So, but this time, I guess maybe Benavides kind of spoke to them about it.
You would hope so.
So let's see how that goes. Okay, let me just.
See, I mean, I think it was a little late. I think he kicked it off a little late, because then those 3 guys already joined the front lines before he actually kicked.
Yeah.
But I think the previous time he kicked while those guys were still rounding behind. Yeah. So this is a little delayed than the last time. So the lines can actually size up their blocks, and those 3 guys are already integrated in that line. That's secret. Did they engage at the 35?
Nope. But at least they take a guy this time.
Exactly.
They take some guys at the 37.
Yeah, you see everyone gets, kind of blocked up here. This is the only guy who's untouched.
Where's Katoy?
Katoy's right here. He's
and I think the kick was a little deeper.
Yeah, it was deeper.
So it was that first time was well executed. This one was not as well.
Yeah.
So Saskatchewan, how many guys were there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, but how many guys got to Katoy after he caught it and went down? I mean, he bobbled it. They're right there.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I mean,
they have to work on that.
Yeah. I mean, they held them enough, but yeah, they probably should have held them longer, right?
Well, you don't want to give them you don't want to get another penalty, right?
Yeah. No, I mean,
if you touch their jersey, then you might, the ref may call
incessant blocking on BC.
Illegal blocking.
Yeah.
On BC.
Physical contact on a block.
Yeah, touching the on BC. You can't touch the.
So anyway, that was that. So all in all, still a win. Fourth quarter was not inspiring in that we kind of just let them catch up, because we had too big of a lead, right? So
yeah.
But would have been nice to see a stronger fourth quarter.
Yeah, just like like you said, run the ball. Get a few first downs running the ball. It would have taken a lot of time off the clock, and not tire out your defense, because your defense was on the field a lot in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
and they looked a little tired at the end of the game. So.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, all right. So let's jump to Passion Corner. So Greg, you all set?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do it.
Welcome to Passion Corner, where we hand out the props and the poops. So, this week is a win, so we don't have a lot of poop out there, but you'll be surprised. So just hang on, Leo's Legion. But you want to talk about, there's a CFL, there's an NFL. What's the biggest difference? 4 downs and 3 downs. So, for those county fairs that happen in the U.S., you got the 4-H club. Well, we're the Canadian version, so we got the 3-H club. So let's start with our man, Mr. Hatcher. We have an incredible game. I believe it was 172 yards before the game was even 3 quarters old. And you know what? Go-to guy. I said VA's got tunnel vision. I'd just like to see it spread around a little more. But hey, hindsight being what it is, we're great at taking it out. And congrats to Mr. Hatcher. 1,000 yards. You're establishing yourself as a go-to guy here on the West Coast. Love to have you back in for the next, 30 years. Following Mr. Hatcher with 2 touchdowns and another 1,000-yard reach, Mr. Hollins, Ali B. Again, number 2 of the 3 H's. Great game with 2 majors that blew this game wide open. Why? Because the Saskatchewan guys left you wide open. So it's really smooth route running by you, Mr. Hollins. Way to high step it in for that major. Good on you for 1,000 yards. Hope to have you back in Lions colors for the next 30 years. The third H of our 3H club, Mr. Ben Hladek. I know one of the bros in this room has been a little hard on him, but you know what? Great game by you, Ben. You were everywhere. I believe it was 11 tackles, a sack, a rush, tackles for losses. You were there. You were plugging the holes. You just knew where the ball carrier was going to be before he did. So great game on you, Ben. Prop point from the Passion Corner. And now, I got to give a poop point to those guys that wear the zebras. I don't know what they were thinking, but how does a team go perfect without any penalties? Especially when there is discipline challenged as the guys in green. Gang green, 0 penalties? Come on. Refs, get your heads out of where the poop comes from and call a better game. There is holding on every play. I know that's what they say, but when a guy gets pulled down by the front of his jersey, that is blatant. And I'm still trying to figure out who the numbers are that you called on our phantom holding calls on those returns. I've not seen those numbers on the roster at all this year. Refs, you got to do a better job. If I get called before the commissioner, so be it. Got to make a better job, refs. Got to make this league look better. And that kind of officiating, not going to help. Anyway, guys, Passion Corner is done for week 17. I'm out.
Awesome, Greg. I'm glad you called out the refs because that game, I couldn't believe it. So,
I don't believe it.
Yeah. So looking forward, next this week is, I think, our biggest game of the season. Winnipeg's coming into town. They beat Toronto, but as a lot of the press said, it was a preseason game for Toronto, a glorified preseason game for Toronto. But they were leading. They were leading up till the 4th quarter, and then they put in their 3rd-string quarterback. So then their offense sputters, and then Winnipeg catches up.
Boy.
So does that give us some confidence that Winnipeg had to work that hard to beat Toronto's 2nd and even 3rd-string quarterback?
Well, I know we talked about it. Go ahead, Arthur.
I think it gives us confidence that the Lions are starting to win some games, right? So, whatever Winnipeg and Toronto does, whatever that game was, it doesn't matter to the Beast. It doesn't matter to the Lions. The Lions, they've, they had to come back from the brink of death against Ottawa. They had to go to Edmonton and beat a hot team.
Yeah.
And Saskatchewan's played them tough this year.
Every game, yes.
Every game, it's been like 9 points, a 5-point loss, and then this game was like a 7-point game. So Saskatchewan plays them tough, but they were able to get these 3 wins in a row, and I predicted maybe 1 or 2 losses along the way for them. So great on the Lions, stabilized it because they were looking a little ordinary. So now
trending for you.
Yeah, they weren't trending well. Exactly. But now, so at least now the Lions got a little mojo. Their defense playing a little better. They got a little bit of a pass rush. Rhymes is back. VA's throwing, and he didn't get an interception this past game. I think he really didn't want to push anything in the 4th quarter. They had the big lead. He didn't want to throw it. Like, I think he made a point. He didn't want to throw an interception today or this last game.
Yeah.
So that's why you saw them get really conservative. Also, maybe his back.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't want him dropping back and taking another shot.
Yeah.
So why did they leave him in the game?
It was because, like you said, Evans was not dressed. So you have Dominic Davis dropping back. And you don't want him, fumbling and giving Saskatchewan any kind of momentum.
Yeah, the cadence not being used to by the offense.
Anyways, but I think the Lions are in a much better shape than they were, like, say, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. So now they're on a 3-game winning streak. They have the Bombers at home. I think this is a good time to face them.
Well,
Correct.
it's exactly how you wanted it. Both coming off the same length week, both from what we can see, seemingly healthy starting quarterbacks. I read a lot of press today like this could be an MOP vote sway this game. Our receivers are all healthy. Their running back is healthy with their receivers. I mean, it's going to be mano a mano. And you know what? I think the one deciding factor here is going to be what I've been calling that X factor. It's going to be the desire. It's going to be the hunger. It's going to be the hatred, whatever it's going to take to propel, I'm hoping, our home team past what they've got to get by.
Yeah. I think we need to start out strong again. So we need to start out strong, complete our drives with touchdowns, not field goals. So start out strong. So we've been starting out strong the last couple of games. This last game we didn't get touchdowns till later. So we need to get touchdowns early, and we need to be able to establish a running play. Our run defense, I think, is up to the challenge. It's still going to be tough, but we've improved on the run defense. But if we can't establish a running game, then it's going to make it that much easier for Winnipeg defense. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's my only worry. Other than the run, I think we've shown that we can start strong. We've shown that we've improved in all the other weaknesses we talked about: our special teams, our returns, our run defense. So it's just the running play that I'm concerned about.
I'm still a little concerned about the pass defense. Like Delagal, yeah, I understand he got a lot of those yards in garbage time, but he still gave up 407 yards passing to him, right?
Yeah.
So still minorly concerned. And then, of course, the Winnipeg receivers are even better than the Riders, what they have. And then Zach can get them the ball if he has time.
Yeah.
And just to follow up with you, Roland, they got to get a pass rush. Like their first win in Winnipeg.
Exactly.
That pass rush was all over Zach, and he couldn't get a rhythm. I mean, it would be hard to replicate that, but just get lots of pressure.
Yeah.
Well, when he played Saskatchewan in the first of the back-to-backs, and in their loss, did they have that 6th, 7th lineman in? Because he was not in a rhythm that game. And again, he wasn't really in a rhythm in the Toronto game. And in the Hamilton loss, he wasn't in that big of a greater rhythm. So have those teams figured out a way to beat that extra lineman that they did to stymie us? And was that a blueprint we can copy? Or have they gotten away from that extra lineman? I didn't notice that in those games that I watched.
I didn't notice them having an extra lineman in those games, other than when they played us the second time.
Okay.
But those other teams, those other D lines, they're a bit bigger and sturdier than ours. Ours is built on speed and skill,
speed and finesse,
quickness, finesse, and then some of those ones they're big. Yeah, they're big and mean.
But then we rotate ours, so ours is fresh. For more
okay, so we need, there's that X factor that Arthur just brought up. Mean. We need to play mean. We need to be the bigger dog in the fight. The meaner dog in the fight. Yeah. And if I could point, there's one thing neither of you guys said that we need to improve on that I'm going to throw out there. We talked about starting strong. Have we really finished strong in any of these 3-game winning streaks? I mean, we built the lead, hung on. Have we literally gone pedal to the metal, kickoff to final whistle?
Well, 60 minutes, no. But, I mean, they finished. I mean, you can't finish as strong as you did in Ottawa, right? That was finishing extremely strong.
That was just desperate.
But the Lions haven't really played a 60-minute effort this year. I mean, you could say maybe the first game in Winnipeg was a 60-minute effort.
Because if Winnipeg lollygags and you, like, again, Toronto played them tough or what have you. Winnipeg took Toronto, whatever it was. Winnipeg was able to turn it on and shut it down or crank it up, whatever you want to say. Their defense was able to shut Toronto down. Their offense moved it when they had to. And that last chunk, for that last 60 minutes, they can pour it on. We have to be able to match that or more.
Actually, the Winnipeg against Toronto, I'm not sure if, because I think Toronto didn't care about winning. They put in their third string quarterback for two series, and it was 2-and-outs, right? So they were ahead by 2 points. They put in their third string quarterback, and for 2 series it was 2-and-outs. And because of that, Winnipeg was able to score on the subsequent
On a
series.
tired defense that didn't really care.
So.
Well, that means, and then it was some second stringers in that.
Yep.
Yeah. So that tells me that maybe either Toronto is super strong, which I don't know if I would believe that, or Winnipeg is not that. It's no longer as consistent as they were in previous years.
But like you said, Roland, they still know how to win. They still know how to crank it up when they have to, if they're behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think if we can start strong, establish a lead, get Zach off his game like we did the first game, and we know we can do that. We've got the personnel, right? Betts, Tuhema, they're fast. They can get in there. So if they just give it 100%, even if they don't get in there, they're going to break up enough of the play to get him off rhythm. So.
And if the refs call the holding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah,
hopefully we get the calls in the playoffs.
Exactly. One more point to what Greg said earlier. I think the only press that talked about an MOP showdown is the BC press. I think, right?
The province paper.
Yeah, like no, the rest of the country thinks that MOP is between Zach and Chad Kelly. So they don't see Adams in the running. So maybe of course that doesn't make me happy, but at the same time maybe that's a good thing. Number one, there's less pressure on Adams, but number two, we're like the underdog, right?
Well, we know what happens when we called Winnipeg the underdog when they came in here last year.
Yeah.
But Adams said the MOP, whatever it is, the win. He wants a win in a championship, and everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah.
As long as Adams doesn't try too hard, doesn't force, if he plays loose and fast, I like our chances.
Yeah. I think if he plays similar to how he did against Saskatchewan, where he's focused on just his mechanics and not making mistakes, and just taking the place when he sees the plays, then I think we'll be okay. Got
to give him time to see the plays, though.
Yeah. Now, one more question to you guys. If we win this game, and we end up first in the West,
if we win.
Our last regular season week is a bye. So that means if we are first in the West, we're going to have the bye, and then we're going to have another bye. So that's going to be 2 weeks off.
Yep.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's better than the alternative.
Yes. Somebody said that if the Lions win this game and they get the Western Final berth, they're going to be off between October, whatever. They're not going to see the field again until whenever. And I said, okay, an extra week as opposed to a prairie winter with a mediocre running game, the Winnipeg crowd, and the Winnipeg influence. That's all I'm going to say. I would take the extra week, like Arthur said.
Yeah.
They used to, what's that term that the Rams had in the NFL? Fastest show on turf. I think we're faster on our turf than Winnipeg is. Maybe it favors our smaller scat back, but then Oliveira, once he gets going, it may favor him. But maybe it favors our smaller, as Arthur said, our smaller, quicker pass rush too. Everything right now is in our favor. Everything's equal. We're rested as much as they are, but it's in our stadium. Now, there's going to be a Winnipeg contingent coming because there's a bunch of smarter Winnipeggers out there than some that actually moved out here to better weather. Not that I'm trying to stir the pot, but there's going to be some Winnipeg people in that stadium. We need to show up, fill those seats, and just give that intensity that our players deserve. They worked their butts off this year. We need to support them. We need to support them right through to the Grey Cup.
Yeah. Well said.
I'm trying to stall Arthur in case Roland asks that next question.
Well, you know it's coming.
What's the
I
next
know.
question?
Coming. You better have your
I don't have a
prediction
next.
ready.
I don't have a next question. But if you have one, you can ask it.
Arthur said the word.
Huh? What did?
Arthur said the P word.
The prediction. You're gonna say, guys, what's your prediction on the score?
All right. Yes. Prediction.
Who goes first? I go first. I know what I have to say.
Okay. All right.
Winnipeg is gonna win.
Well,
Hate to say it, guys.
Well, you've got to say that because you said that we're gonna lose how many games?
Well, I thought we were gonna go 3-3.
Okay.
So I thought they would lose in Edmonton. I thought they may lose in Saskatchewan, but they might lose like one of the other two games. But I thought I had this as a loss.
Yeah.
And although they're playing better, and I'm really happy they're playing better, and the fan in me wants them to win.
Yeah.
But as the analyst in me says, I think they still need to improve on a few certain areas where Winnipeg has the advantage in spades.
Yeah.
Like the intensity that Roland wants, the smash mouthness, the bigger, the imposing the will on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and then that running game with Oliveira. So those are things that can win you games just by themselves.
Yeah.
Just by themselves. If you control the line of scrimmage on both sides and you have a dominant run game against an improving Lions run defense. But we'll see when the best running game in town comes in.
Yeah.
And let's see this test. I'm really interested to see that test, like what Roland said. Really interested to see this test of the run defense. And on the other side, can we get Smoke getting some yards on the ground as well?
Yeah.
Because that will help tip the scales in terms of, because the passing offenses, you can probably say they're about equal.
Yeah.
About equal. You could say they're about equal. I mean, BC has some good receivers.
Yeah, we do.
Winnipeg's got some good receivers. And
Yeah.
Caleros is probably a little bit more consistent than Vernon.
That's the better word. There's a key word right there.
Right.
You hit it.
And Lawler and Schoen and Dembski versus Hatcher and Rhymes and Hollins. You could say, okay, well, we have Lucky and Katoyas are 4 and 5. That might swing the scale overall.
Because they would have Peterman and
Bailey or whatever,
Wolotarski.
right? Yeah. So, I mean, but again,
Wolotarski. Sorry, Peterman.
you're not throwing the ball to 5 receivers at the same time. You're throwing the ball to 1, right? And they have Schoen and Lawler and Dempsey. They can make plays, right? Yeah. So these guys aren't slouches. They can make just as good of a play as our top 3 guys.
For sure.
I think BC has a better depth.
Yeah.
But, if Zach's putting it, and Zach throws it very accurately.
He does, yeah.
And he throws it to Lawler, and Lawler's open. Lawler doesn't make the catch, right?
Well,
and it doesn't matter, like, if our number 4, number 5 receiver is better than their number 4 and 5. If Zach can consistently hit one of his top 2 receivers perfect, or very close to perfect, it doesn't matter. Those other receivers don't come into play. So
exactly.
The difference is the line of scrimmage and the run games. And is Grant back yet? Jadarian Grant, is he back yet?
I don't know.
No.
No.
I don't think so.
So that guy scares me.
Well,
that guy scares me if he's playing for Winnipeg or whoever their kick returner is, right? So, anyways. And then they know how to win. We talked about this before. Winnipeg knows how to win. This is the time of the year they ramp it up. They know how to win. They've done it. They've won the Grey Cup 3 years in a row. They won it twice. They should have won it last year.
Yeah.
So I'm in a very long-winded way. Winnipeg's gonna win.
By how
I don't know
many
about how
points?
many. You're not asking by how many, are you?
Well, I mean, you might as well predict that too.
I think by 7-8 points.
Okay. All right. Winnipeg by 8. Arthur's prediction. Greg?
okay, first of all, Leo's Legion, that's the guy there that said we're not going to win. That guy there, the analyst. I know he's a fan, though. That's why we love him.
for sure.
I'm a fan.
He is a fan, and he's a die-hard loyal fan. But he's got a computer up here that's just programmed to just call it by the numbers. But me, I go by emotion, I go by fandom, and that's it. And then just how things execute with X's and O's as the basics and fundamentals of the game go. But I'm going to predict a BC win. Because I call them at 5-1.
All right. The loss you haven't predicted a loss yet?
No.
All right.
Because to be the best, you got to beat the best, as the saying goes.
For sure.
And if you don't do it this week, then when are you going to do it? Next year when the Grey Cup's here?
Well, they did it in week 3, but that does go
again. That's already happened. Just let go of that. Let go of your Nate's coming back, man. Done. If they don't do it this week, when are they going to do it? You guys say they're building up to the Grey Cup being here next year. Well, that's fine. The Grey Cup's here next year. If you haven't figured out how to win by that time, ain't going to happen. You got to do it now.
Next year's next year.
You need the emotion. You need the swing. You need the momentum. You need to do it now. Whether they get to the Grey Cup or not part of my equation right now. They need to beat Winnipeg.
Oh, yeah.
And again, this ain't a make or break a game. I cry bull beep. It is. This makes or breaks who these Lions are from this moment forward. Right? Oh, great, we lost. Now we need to know what we need to do. Well, no, because they're really starting all over. You need to beat them now and then tweak it a little bit for when you got the game coming here. But you need to beat Winnipeg. Yeah, they got the big heavies up front, and I know we've likened it to an NHL game before. Right now, the Lions, D-lines and O-lines, kind of like the finesse Oilers of the 80s. And until they learn to play heavy, they didn't win. So these guys, yes, small and quick, they got to be nasty. They got to be tenacious. They got to be alpha male dog dominant. Yeah, if Stanley Bryant outweighs you by 70 to 80 pounds, then you got to get lower than him and pick that mother off the ground and get to Zach. So I'm predicting a win
by our Lions. By how many points?
4.
4 points. Okay, so we're going to be close.
I'm not sure how they're going to win, but anyways. But you're saying that they have to do it because this is the time to do it.
Yeah, I mean...
And they have to conjure up something they haven't shown consistently since week 3 to do, right? This is what I'm so basically you're counting on them to reach deep to do it. And they haven't shown it since week 3.
They have to. And
I agree. They have to do it.
I'm predicting because they're going to find whatever it takes, because that's the fan in me, right? But yes, all things point to they're smaller on both lines. They have no run game, and the quarterback may have thrown more yards, but he's not as consistent. Because again, I was thinking while you guys were talking, if we come out strong but go 2-and-out, we're doomed. We need to drive, and whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, we need to drive.
Yeah.
We need to continue to be on the field at least the same amount of time as our D.
It's actually not really the 2-and-outs. It's the interceptions. It's the interceptions that really matter.
Yeah.
The 2-and-outs, matter.
But it does too.
But it does too. But if you're throwing, you have 16 interceptions versus 11. That's a lot more. And you've got what? Double the what? Yes. No. I mean,
it's a momentum. Yeah. But
I mean, you're losing 30, 40, 50 yards of field position on a potential. I mean, you don't know how deep that interception is, but you're losing a significant chunk of yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying we need to we just need to stay on the field, driving the ball and getting something. Period. Because again, one of the best ways to defend an offense, keep them on the keep them on the sidelines, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I hope the defense has gotten out of their heads that they're the best defense in the league, because if they were, we'd be undefeated by now.
Yeah. Well, they haven't said it. They haven't said it for a long time.
I know. So hopefully they don't listen to all that. But no, I'm predicting a BC win by 4.
By 4. Okay.
All right. Well, we know where Roland's gonna ride. Right. Mr. 6-0
So let me for sure I'm predicting a win, but I'm going to justify it. So the analysis that you provided, Arthur, I agree. So no, I'm not going to downplay that. I think you got the analysis right, but I think we might be in for a pleasant surprise, and I'll tell you why.
Ooh.
Adams knows what he needs to do. he said this week he can't throw any more interceptions, and that's why he was focused on coming into this week, and he did it. Right? No interceptions in Saskatchewan against Saskatchewan. So I think that he'll be able to maintain that. So that's one thing. What you say about Winnipeg is true. They know how to win, but Winnipeg is losing more and more of their shine as the season is progressing. So they've passed their peak, and of course it's still high up there, but they're past this peak, and we've seen different chinks in their armor, and I think we're going to be able to exploit some of that. So we know what our weakness is. Our weakness is we can't run the ball. So we need to devise strategies through the game, this game specifically, to counter that. And I think I'm putting my faith in our coaches' brains. We saw that one game where Ryan Phillips out-schemed the opponent, right?
He out-schemed the Elks.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were on a win streak.
Yeah. And then no one knew how to stop them at that point, right?
Yeah.
So I
Even
think
Winnipeg had a tough time with Trey Ford.
yeah.
Well, they still beat them.
He still beat him, but they had a tough time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
They made it close. Yeah. When Edmonton made it close. Kudos to them.
I think our coaches in Maximic has been looking forward to this game for a long time.
He's been holding some things back.
Yeah,
He's got some tricks up his sleeve.
So that's what I'm thinking, and that's why I think I can justify the win, because we're gonna, number one, overcome our weakness. We're still gonna try to run the ball, but we're gonna do things where even if we can't run the ball that much, that we're still gonna have some other plays that would negate their Winnipeg's expecting that we're gonna be passing. And in terms of the defense, I think we know that if we can get Zach off his rhythm, then that goes a long way. It doesn't matter how good the receivers are. If he can't see them and he can't get the ball out, then it's that's what we did in winning the first game. So now definitely they adjusted, because the second game they killed us 50-14, right? So, but
we had no VA. We're down to our third string quarterback. Mind you, third string quarterback in the league this year.
That's true.
Short week.
That's true. Don't
forget short week, back-to-back road games, Arthur.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't say that in the stats, but it had to be a factor.
Yeah.
So having said all that, I'm predicting a 10-point win by BC. Yeah.
I hope you guys are right. 10-point win.
Well, I hope some of the defensive players also have some venom in them. Bad taste for what Winnipeg did to them. I mean, running up, just the arrogance of the Winnipeg Poop Bombers. I can't get that taste out of my mouth. So, I mean, these guys get paid to play this game. Their egos, their pride, go get it back.
Yeah. So hopefully, I'm in my mind, I know that your analysis is pretty bang on, but in my heart, I'm hoping that my prediction is right.
My heart, I'm hoping you're right, Roland, brother Roland, for sure, 100%. I hope you're right.
Boys, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the Lions to have a bigger heart than the Bombers.
Yeah, for sure.
To equal out that analysis, because Arthur is bang on, as he usually is. So, Lions fans out there, Leo's Legion, subscribe, like, and come and agree, come back us up, come support your team. I see you guys all in those forums cheering the Lions on. Well, come on, put your money where your mouth is. Step up, get on one of our platforms here at 3 Down Bros, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever it is. Type it, voice it, write it, yell it, scream it, sing it, whatever. We got to beat the Bombers this week.
Yes.
And right. 2 out of the 3 of us think we will.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Help us get to 100 subscribers. We're halfway there, 50. Once we get to 100 subscribers, we'll be able to do a live stream on YouTube. So please help us get there.
That'd be awesome.
And if you see us in the game, please come say hi. We'd love to chat with you. Okay.
And one more shout out to Quincy Mojay. We owe you cheesecake. Let us know when.
Warm cheesecake. Cool.
Home cheesecake.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right.
He's a foodie.
All right.
Okay, awesome. Take care, guys. See you next week after the Bombers game.
See you guys later.
Okay. Bye-bye.